This laser machine costs more than $1 million. It can cut through stainless steel, aluminum, and even copper, and it was used to create the parts for this fully functional car. This is just one step in an on-demand manufacturing process that's redefining how things get made in America. More specifically, parts.
We have parts at the bottom of the ocean. We have parts in orbit right now. We have parts on high mountain peaks. We have parts in people's garages.
This is SendCutSend, a startup that takes raw designs and turns them into custom parts that can be cut, bent, powder-coated, and delivered to your doorstep in just 48 hours.
That's a rate of speed that outpaces the company's offshore competitors.
Our customers are using us for everything. Land speed cars, robotics, commercial rockets. 9 out of 10 private rocket launch companies use us for parts every day.
2, 1.
It might be hard to remember a time when America's manufacturing industry outperformed China's, but it actually wasn't that long ago. Up until 2010, the US was the global leader in manufacturing output, but in the background, China spent decades slowly working its way to the top. And then everything changed. Now, the US is scrambling to revive the manufacturing base it lost. That's why I got on a plane and flew here, to Reno, Nevada, to put SendCutSend's suite of high-tech software and machinery to the test.
It's like giving the parts a spray tan.
And to see if its system for manufacturing parts faster, cheaper, and in smaller quantities really could be America's industrial ticket back to the top.
How many parts would you say are in production at any given time in the day?
Oh, geez, I have no idea. Thousands and thousands.
This is Jim Bolosic, the founder and CEO of SendCutSend. He started the company in 2018 to solve his own manufacturing dilemma.
I needed parts that didn't exist, but not everyone wants to shut down their line to make one part for some dude in his garage. But I was like, there's a lot of dudes in their garage. Maybe I can put together a business model that serves those guys.
That model centered around a piece of software Jim developed that could fabricate parts in smaller quantities for the individual builder and small business. At first, he tried to shop it to legacy manufacturing companies in the US.
So then I realized no one really wanted to make me one of something. Like if I needed 1,000 units, no problem. But to get one and to get it, at a reasonable cost in a reasonable time frame, just a lot of manufacturing wasn't set up to do that. So I was like, oh, we should be able to figure that out.
After convincing his wife Erin to let him finance a $750,000 laser, Jim had both the software and the hardware to start making parts for customers.
Is there any part that you've made in the past that just you didn't think you could do it?
They were actually doilies, plate chargers, basically. It had the most intricate design that you've ever seen in your entire life. Just uploading the design to our machines broke the machines. The machine shut down because there was 200,000 lines of code. They were the most expensive doilies in the world, but the customers were really happy.
Every SendCutSend part starts as a customer's design file. The first step is to select the right material, then cut it using a water jet or a laser. Next, it heads to the production floor. That's where I jumped in.
So for this particular order, the first step is tapping.
Okay.
So
what is that?
Tapping is when we're gonna form threads in the metal so that you can put a screw into it or a fastener. The laser can only cut a circle, and this is where we add a thread forming to it.
Do you guys have to tell people hey, we can't make this?
Every day.
Yeah.
But we don't just say, no, we can't do it. We usually say, hey, we wanna make this for you. Here's how we can make it. And we work with them to change their design to meet our capabilities.
It kind of looks like a face.
Yeah, so.
Since 2018, SendCutSend has made more than 30 million parts for more than 300,000 customers, including 60% of Fortune 500 companies. To keep up with demand, they've opened 2 more production facilities, one in Kentucky and one in Texas. Ironically,
sometimes we get mistaken for a Chinese company. People are like, you're so cheap and you're so fast. How are you doing this in the US?
Okay, so that question completely makes sense. It's not easy to break through an industry that's dominated by another player, but it's still possible. We compiled 10 industries that are ripe for disruption where billion-dollar monopoly cracks are already forming. It's a quick 5-minute read that gives you a complete competitive landscape and the 3-step plan to attack the biggest monopoly in your city starting this week, literally this week. Inside, you'll find the 10 little-known industries where you can quietly slip in and steal market share. We're talking everything from waste management to overlooked financial services. Consider this report your unfair advantage. Oh, and it's free. Want the exact blueprint for starting a $1 million business that most entrepreneurs overlook? Click the link right now in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen to get the blueprint and your next $1 million idea. Okay, back to the production floor. Let's go.
Next step is going to be bending. This is one of our CNC press brake, and it bends metal. This is where we take a two-dimensional object and turn it into 3 dimensions. Each station is a quality check station, basically. Every operator is checking the quality of the operator before him, and then he's making sure that the quality is going to be good for the next guy too. So instead of just having one QC station, we have QC everywhere.
Logistically speaking, how do you achieve these like insane production speeds that are comparable to Amazon Prime?
Yeah, except it's for stuff that doesn't exist. So Amazon is taking a known object off of a shelf and putting it into a box. We're taking something that only existed in your head yesterday, making it from scratch, and then putting it into a box and getting it there. So no, I love the comparison. If we can go even faster than Prime, I'd be really happy.
SendCutSend operates 24/7. To avoid any blips in the production line, they have multiple backups for every machine, including that $1 million laser I mentioned earlier. Jim says the company owns at least 14. And that software he developed early on that nobody else wanted, it's now the blueprint for how SendCutSend makes one-off parts so quickly.
What's the record speed as far as like making a part goes? Do you guys have a PR?
The official, I think, was 32 minutes. From the time the customer says, check out, to the time that it's in a box with a label, 32 minutes.
Is getting something manufactured offshore in China, for example, actually faster than what you're doing here?
They could potentially like cut the metal a little bit faster than us, but when you factor in, shipping time, even if it's air, there's just no way that they're competitive.
And if you're wondering about the cost, for this part, Jim says it would range from roughly $70 to $90 for a single unit. But unit prices go down as the quantity goes up. And according to him, that's the same, if not less, than what offshore manufacturers charge.
So then why would anyone get something manufactured overseas versus?
Sometimes it is really, really cheap. Sometimes if you're willing to wait, or if you don't have the need for a high quality part, then it's dirt cheap over there.
I looked into how cheap and found that steel SendCutSend sources in the US can cost double what it costs in China. Combine that with China's mega factories that are designed to pump out thousands of identical parts at a time, and suddenly their per unit prices become unbeatable. But for much of the 20th century, the US was able to outcompete China and the rest of the world in manufacturing. The techniques we developed made us an industrial superpower, and following World War I, we emerged as the world's top manufacturing nation. But when President Nixon's historic trip to China in 1972 opened dialogue leading to US-China trade relations, American businesses couldn't deny the advantages of offshoring production. As China built out factories and supply chains, its operations weren't only cheaper, they became faster and more flexible too.
It got so cheap and so good that we decided, I guess we don't need to do it here anymore. And now I think we can see that that's a big mistake.
America's manufacturing plants started to disappear, and so did jobs, as major retailers like Apple started offshoring production. The Chinese government also poured billions of dollars into developing its manufacturing sector, from offering tax breaks to discounted land for factories. The US has also spent billions, but according to the Wall Street Journal, China's investment is in another league. Now, we are seeing American innovation leave the US too.
So how do you think SendCutSend is empowering innovators, encouraging them to keep innovating in the US?
Honestly, I think speed is part of it. If you can have an idea in your head and then hold that idea in your hands within a couple days, it allows you to make changes and innovate and iterate hundreds of times. Typically, we see lead times between 2 and 3 weeks offshore, depending on complexity. In the US, sometimes it's like 2 months before they even consider starting your order.
So I guess today I am going to be painting.
Yeah, you're an
little bit
honorary powder
coating.
coater. Yeah. Do you want some tips before you start, or you just want to go for it?
Let's go for it.
Okay.
So in theory, if this was my part and it was shipping to me in California, today is Wednesday. When could I expect to receive it?
This will go out on a truck at about 4 o'clock from our Reno facility. Anywhere in California is usually 1-day transit. So you might get it tomorrow, most likely Friday.
Even with reshoring efforts and tariffs, America's manufacturing sector as a whole may never be the global powerhouse it once was. But as Forbes puts it, we can still build the industry we need to power our future, starting with a technology-first approach, like the one here in Reno.
By cracking the code on how to make American manufacturing faster, cheaper, and more precise, SendCutSend is redefining what this legacy industry can achieve and how ideas, not just products or parts, get made here in the US.
You didn't set out to change the face of American manufacturing.
Oh, no, not at all. I just needed some parts. I set out to just make it easier. You know, I don't know if SendCutSend is moving the needle by ourselves, but I think we're definitely an inspiration for a lot of other companies to say, hey man, I bet we could do that. I bet we could make that process easier. There has never been a better day to start making something in the US than today. So start, just go do it.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget, you can start building your $1 million business idea by downloading our free report on the 10 industries that are ripe for disruption. Description box, click the link. There you go. Also, if you know a company like SendCutSend that's reimagining an industry or a system that built America, let me know in the comments. I want to go on the ground and see how these ideas work in real life. And as always, subscribe to The Hustle for more stories like this. And I'll see you in the next one.